Well, there is a lot to work out in this new footage, which I think does really conclusively show that Aaron is, to put it mildly, abusive. But let me try to set up the context to be fair to him. This happened in LA, where he went to cover the Danny Masterson trial. I think, frankly, in a very disturbing attempt to try to get rid of Tony Ortega as well as slight Chris Shelton. There's a big rivalry going on behind the scenes with all these personalities. If you don't know Aaron, he's a big YouTuber who has specialized in basically hating Tom Cruise and David Miscavige. And in 2023, he made Danny Masterson a major focus. So he got into a relationship with a woman. We're just going to call her Juliana. I don't want to use her full name, although I do think she's used her full name. And Juliana and him spent a lot of time together, and they had a falling out. Now, we've only heard really Aaron's side of the story because Juliana has told what happened in various places, but sometimes it's been deleted. She is, I think, somewhere in terms of the atmosphere or context, but she sort of pops in and out. And I think, frankly, we kind of know why, that she's been intimidated by Aaron's fans. Nevertheless, Aaron's story told about their breakdown in their relationship, and he said that they were spending a time in a hotel. He decided to basically break up, and she reacted badly. He got injured, and he was trying to escape her. So let's see a little bit of the snippet of this video.
She puts her arms around my neck. Like, if I recall correctly, she's sort of behind me here, right? But
Okay.
she's got her arms wrapped around my neck. She's basically hanging off of me. Okay. I grab her wrist and I go like this to get her off of me. I mean, she's a small person, so she has small wrists. So, and probably wasn't, it was probably made worse by the fact that she probably was not supporting all of her weight on her own feet because she's kind of hanging from me. Okay.
Right.
So I grab her.
Well, the way Aaron was telling it, he was really badly injured. And yet this footage shows that he is walking normally. If he's injured, he's shrugged it off or it's not bothering him. And he goes into how he wasn't trying to hurt her and she was trying to grab him. And there is a little bit back and forth, right? He is trying to walk away from her. And he was saying that she was trying to kiss him, but he kind of took it the wrong way. And that she hung on to him. And again, the footage, it's not entirely clear, but I don't think that's what happened. It seemed that, yes, she was touching him, but he did seem to like really aggressively push her and push her away very violently. And then she hit basically pavement. And this he did admit, but he tried to interpret it the other way in order to fool people. And as we can see, Rabbit, who is his female ally, is basically buying the whole story.
And I pull it off of my neck, and she does, and falls into the building that we're standing next to, which was the CVS that we were just in.
Oh,
now, this is one of those old, downtown LA buildings, like everything's like sharp edges and marble or granite or whatever. And she falls and she stumbles and she falls into the building, and I see her head hit one of the corners of this building.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And my first thought was, oh fuck. That actually looked pretty bad.
Well, again, the footage is a little murky there, but no, she's definitely injured. And what's really shocking is there's a police car, and he talks about an Uber. I don't see an Uber anywhere. And then he says he's going to go back to the hotel. But it's like, wait, weren't you waiting for an Uber? So a lot of details here that don't make a lot of sense. And even the way he's putting it, it's like saying, oh, she's being aggressive. She's basically being a psychopath. He had to get away from her because if he didn't, he would be in danger. And yet clearly she's just lying there and she looks pretty injured. And he admits that she's bleeding. And we actually saw some photos of this. In fact, Rabbit, to her credit, did cover it. But she interpreted the injuries as not too bad. And in any case, if it was bad, why hasn't she filed a report? And the way Juliana tells it, at least in her initial story, is that she didn't really want Aaron to be arrested or even put in jail. She just wanted him off the Aftermath board and have Mike Render and Claire Headley former friends of Aaron take over the Aftermath Foundation. Well, again, I'm not here to force any interpretation, but from the looks of it, it's not as bad as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or whatever we're going to call him, but it does not line up with the story he was telling Rabbit. It really does wildly contradict what he was claiming, that he was the victim and he was badly injured. We're not seeing that. He seems to be walking normally, and in fact, when she gets injured and she's on the floor, he's moving away quite rapidly. So, how injured was he in his feet? It doesn't quite add up. And he says he's waiting for an Uber, but we don't see the Uber. So, just a lot of question marks. Obviously, we want a little bit more information, like what happened in the hotel. What is the catalyst for what happened here? But nevertheless, it is very, very disturbing, no matter how you slice it. And this footage can only be called extremely damaging to his reputation. But now he has his own echo chamber. I'm sure they're going to try to find an excuse for him, but it looks like what it looks like. It looks like a really shocking scene of abuse and then abandonment. And he knew what he did, so he's trying to manufacture a story, but now we have the footage to completely contradict his testimony. So it'll be interesting if he can find some justifiable excuse for what he did. But from the looks of it, and we have the testimony of other people, he does seem to be what he is. He's just a monster, and he just has a pattern of behavior, and he's not going to be stopped until he's stopped. So it's a very disturbing episode, and the latest with the SPTV wars.